Throughout the country, it's much the same story. A run-down railway dependent on 20-year-old diesel rail cars fit only for the breaker's yard. When the track begins to wear out, they cannibalise the good bits of double track and make it into usable single track. Already many lines are too weak to carry freight trains. It's becoming a make, do and mend railway. But it's not only the track that's falling apart. British Rail is so hard up there's no money for rolling stock either. Some of it isn't even fit to take passengers on board, so they use the carriages as a travelling billboard. The service is now so mediocre that only those with no alternative are prepared to use it.
So how important is the railway to you?
Very important.
Why?
Well, I'm a student. It's the only way of getting home. Well, sometimes it's all right, but you just have to take pot luck. Sometimes it takes you 6 or 7 hours to get back, which is ridiculous. I just sit on a chair and fume. I just sort of...
It's the economics of the madhouse to pour money into a regional development area like Mid Wales, while starving it of the resources for a proper railway. As the service gets slower and through trains to London are dropped, British Rail have almost given up trying to sell the Worcester to Oxford line. Already they've handed over the job of winning new passengers to the local amateur promotion group.
To increase the traffic by a third, or help to increase the traffic, during a time of recession, I think is of considerable achievement.
This line can't ever really pay its way, though, can it?
No, not in the narrow financial sense of profit and on the profit and loss British Rail ledger, but it must be looked at as part of the national network. Social and environmental, it has a great deal of benefits.
Elsewhere, there's Alice in Wonderland accounting. It's just after 8 in the morning at Barmouth Station on the Cambrian coastline in West Wales. It's term time and the school children's special is about to set off. For the rest of the day, the line will be almost unused, but for an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon, the line north from Barmouth is one of the busiest in the land. 500 school children make the journey every day to a secondary school in Harlech, purpose-built 20 years ago beside the station. Without them, there would be little justification for having a railway line at all. Even with them, the economics of the Cambrian coastline don't add up.
Big edge, please. Thank you. Aye. Okay. Okay, thank you. Aye, thank you.
This is my single ticket, costs £1. If every school child on this train were to get the same sort of deal as I've got, they'd get a special rate. In fact, they've got a special season ticket, which is worked out with British Rail to be exactly double the price of my ticket. Quite a bargain.
There's no doubt that the Cambrian Coast Railway line is one of the most beautiful in Britain. In summer, it attracts thousands of tourists, but in reality, it's only half a railway. It can't carry freight trains, nor ordinary passenger trains. The locomotives are just too heavy. The civil engineer has been forced to restrict traffic to aging diesel rail cars. Only they are light enough to cross the weakest part of the line, the Barmouth Viaduct. 2 years ago, British Rail found that the wooden supports of the viaduct were being eaten away by tropical teredo worms. The engineer could afford only partial repairs so that rail cars could cross if they went slowly. There are hardline economists in government circles who would favour more drastic solutions. In the meantime, the Cambrian coastline makes a massive loss. Even though the county council subsidises each school child using the line by paying twice the normal fare, British Rail say they still lose about £27.50 a week on each child. For every pound they collect in fares from all passengers, they lose over £5 on operating costs alone. When British Rail engineers divide the money available for maintenance, this line must have low priority. It's the same story all over the country. Civil engineers are coming under pressure to restrict their spending to the most profitable lines. Since Alston, there have been no significant closures. The government's stated aim is to maintain the network, including the social railway. But 3 months ago, the Centre for Policy Studies, an influential Tory research group, published a document calling for the scrapping of much of our railway system.
Just take a look at it. You only have to take the rails off, and you have a magnificent road. I think what people really complain about when they're losing a rail service is not so much the trains. What they're complaining about is the loss of the route.
All over the country, the lines are rotting through lack of investment. And though it will be the engineers who will sign the death warrants, there's little doubt where supporters of the social railway will lay the blame.
I'm convinced the public will be very critical of politicians and this government in particular. The railway track is reaching the stage where sooner or later we will have railway closures.